We call this project HAF Connects. It's connecting global artists to a common problem of plastics. Each of the artists has been given a cone shape. They're embellishing it with plastics that is problematic in their communities.
I make art by any means necessary, and my project will be entitled Tiny Little Things. Here are the elements I'm going to be using for my project: hearing aid batteries, bottle caps, and dum-dum wrappers, which happen to be made of plastic.
I was in my son's room and I was looking at all the plastic that he has, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, we need to do something with this. But I also looked at the tar pits and where fossil fuels come from, you know what I'm saying? And we're dealing with, okay, the dinosaurs. When we're dealing with the military, you know, the government, I have all these little toy soldiers that he had. You know, it tells a story historically of, you know, plastics travels or to become plastic.
I would like to show you how I worked on my hat. So, depending on the direction that I'm working with or how I want the colors to move, I use a particular color. And close it.
I am working on the structure, figuring out the main configuration of the cone so that my senior citizen art class and my teenage art class can be with us on this project. And that's how we make the final form, huh?
Right now I'm actually working with a material that you wouldn't even believe this plastic, but it is, cigarette filters. I discovered that in the cigarette filters there is pellets of plastic that's unsustainable. We can't do anything with it. It's not biodegradable. So I've been just trying to collect them as much as I can to do this process. It looks like hundreds of cigarette butts, and quilted them all together to create my hat.
I usually focus on making animals, but for this piece I wanted to try making a human head. I often use contact lens cases for the eyes, as you can see, so it's a transparent rather than a translucent plastic, and the shape of it lends itself quite well. So I call her my Nefertiti because I feel like the elongation of the form and the kind of shape that you see here to the head, it reminds me a lot of that statue.
I happened to discover a new beach with huge deposits of this material. Actually, the whole beach was filled with plastic nets, ropes, and cloth. I was thinking, probably these same fishermen who have been complaining about low fish are the same people who have been dumping their old fishing nets into the sea.
I'm a sculptor and I work with mostly material that people don't tend to think of as valuable. I use dirt, paper, wood, so I don't tend to work with materials that are toxic to the environment. So working with this material has been a challenge for me, figure out what I'm going to do with it and how I'm going to use it.
I ask myself, where does all the plastic waste end up? After plastic goes on its journey of being produced, used, and tossed away by humans, it eventually comes back to us. I selected LCD discs. This mirror-like surface reflects the image of all the surroundings. It's just like that our living condition also reflects humans' behavior towards all kinds of ecosystems on Earth.
As many of you know, plastics is a very dangerous material that's very plentiful in our society. It's damaging the environment, it's damaging land, it's damaging oceans. Many of you are aware how it's killing marine life. And by the year 2025, the manufacturing of plastics will double from what it's currently at.